Two spring football leagues are merging. The official announcement coming just a few hours ago. San Antonio, home of the XFL Brahmas, part of the 8-team league, and should be in pretty good shape when it comes to bringing absorbed teams into that merger. The Brahmas had the second highest attendance in the XFL for the regular season. San Antonio also, if you remember, hosted the XFL championship game. The SFL also carries 8 teams, mostly in the eastern half of the U.S. The XFL owner, of course, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. The only city with teams in both leagues is Houston, so there might be some changes there. We are told that the details will be released pretty soon.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
AT&T Stadium, Michael Parsons, Dallas Cowboys will be hosting the New England Patriots, and that means the return of former Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott, now wearing number 15 for the Pats. Zeke, their second leading rusher this season, has got 122 yards on 28 carries. He's still saying, "Feed me." That's a familiar move right there. So Parsons was asked if he's excited about getting to tackle Zeke.
No excitement. He's just my dog. I know it's like all love, and, I just know we just go out there and compete.
Crack down on the outside.
After 7 seasons with the Cowboys, Zeke said there will be some emotions and that he may do a job of hiding them. We'll see. Many firsts in the Texans' win last week. For starters, they won, and the O-line did not give up a sack. Texans rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud will now see if his beat-up offensive lineman can protect him from T.J. Watt of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. He led the NFL with 13 sacks this season, 6 of those by T.J.
He's a great player, both 90 and 56. Definitely 2 dogs, and even up front, their D tackles are really good too. But this is the first time we're playing against really good DNs too. But I think he's probably the best defensive player in the league, other than Michael Parsons and a couple other guys that are standing out in the league right now. But got to be aware of him. But at the same time, we got to have confidence in what we're doing.
Hey, Stroud's going to also have to watch out for number 98 right there, DeMarvin Leal. Remember him from Judson High School? He's got a sack and 8 total tackles so far this season. The UTSA Roadrunners enjoying a bye week before they start American Athletic Conference action at the Temple Owls. The Roadrunners hit their off week with a 1-3 record this season. They lost to Houston in week 1, 17-14, beat Texas State in week 2. Then they lost to Army in week 3 and number 23 Tennessee last week, 45-14 in back-to-back weeks, sitting 1-3. Not fun, but it's also not the end of the world.
Only one time we've ever had a winning record going into conference. So, unfortunately, we're pretty good at being bad in non-conference, and we're pretty good at being good in conference. And we've got to be able to really evaluate ourselves as a coaching staff first, and as players next, and make the necessary adjustments to get going in Temple.
All right, I believe that trend will continue. UTSA will play at Temple Saturday, October 7th at 1 p.m. The Owls are playing at Tulsa tomorrow night before they host the Roadrunners. And there it is, the Victory Capital Performance Center. At least that's the brand new court. It is state-of-the-art. It's that practice facility for the San Antonio Spurs at the Rock at La Cantera. With training camp starting next week, this was a great chance for us to get to see the Spurs' new practice center. Ahead of us pretty much spending a lot of time there because, we're going to be there on a weekly basis during the season to get practice video and player interviews. Look at that weight room. Wow, that's fantastic. It was a media orientation. This is an exciting time for the Spurs. They got the draft pick they wanted in Wemby. They added him to an already awesome core of young players, and now they have that brand new practice facility. That is looking sharp. And of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 championship banners hanging from the rafters.
We talked to every stakeholder in this building, but it was years in the making, and it wasn't just one voice that contributed, but it was all the voices. Again, the ability to take care of our people and making sure that our performance staff had the same amenities that our coaching staff had, making sure that we had the ability to put the best people around our players and keep and retain them was the driving force. But I will say this, that we spent hours and hours and hours talking to everybody in this building and how they interacted, and whether that was the intern, whether it was our building ops, whether it was our physiotherapists, our coaches, and even some players. It was a big effort.
Awesome facility. There's even a little influence from some former players because there's a coffee shop right next to the court inspired by coffee gang that included Manu, Patty Mills, Boris Diaw, just to name a few, but there's probably several more. But look at like a little coffee bar. So you walk up the court after a hard day of practice and grab a little cup of coffee.
Is the counter like up here?
Probably good
It was
question.
inspired by those guys.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll find out. The government, it may very well shut down as lawmakers still have not reached an agreement about funding it. Coming up in the next half hour, what lawmakers have to say about the brunt of their inaction, government workers, and military families.
And new today at 5, throwing all your dirty dishes into the dishwasher could have you throwing away good money. The 5 things you shouldn't put in the dishwasher and why. That's today at 5 after Entertainment Tonight.
Army Private Travis King back on U.S. soil and now in San Antonio. This is video of his arrival overnight. It comes after he spent weeks in a North Korean jail, basically, after he voluntarily crossed the border. As ABC's Martha Raddatz reports, King is now going to begin his reintegration process.
Overnight, Army Private Travis King back on U.S. soil, emerging in the darkness from a military plane in San Antonio. The 23-year-old soldier, seen here in blue shirt and sneakers, now in the custody of the U.S. Army, being debriefed and medically evaluated at Brooke Army Medical Center. But he is said to be in good health and good spirits. A family spokesperson saying King's mother was able to talk to King by phone soon after his release by the North Koreans.
She's overjoyed. She got to hear her son's voice and she was thrilled. Just cannot emphasize enough what an impressive accomplishment.
King's release had been secretly facilitated by Sweden and China, North Korea expelling King Monday after saying he was illegally intruding into their territory. Swedish officials then driving King from North Korea across the border to China, where he was met by the U.S. ambassador to China. Then boarding a U.S. military aircraft, making a quick stop in South Korea, and then flying straight to Texas. The U.S. saying the North Koreans got nothing in return.
We did not give them anything. We made no concessions as a part of securing his return.
But King's future is uncertain. The last image we saw of him was this one on the South Korean side of the border. Tall, back to the camera, he had joined a tour group at the DMZ before suddenly and willingly bolting across the border into North Korea. The Army private had just been released from a South Korean jail after an altercation with locals and was facing discharge from the Army. His family telling us in August that they had worried about his mental state even before he fled to North Korea.
He just called and he just screamed, "I'm not the Army soldier you want me to be." And he kept screaming that out loud. And then all of a sudden the phone hung up.
Now King could face even more trouble.
He's been AWOL for over 60 days. I think the most likely option is Private Travis King will be administratively discharged from the Army.
But for now, the family feels only relief and joy.
There's an air of celebration in that family tonight that a family member who they've been worried about is safe.
Once again, that was ABC's Martha Raddatz reporting. Meantime, back here at home, one of the men charged in that deadly tractor-trailer smuggling incident on Quintana Road last year has pled guilty on multiple counts. Christian Martinez, who helped transport 53 migrants to San Antonio where they died, is now facing up to life in prison. The U.S. Department of Justice says Martinez pled guilty to several felony counts, including transportation of the migrants resulting in death. Martinez is scheduled to be sentenced in January of 2024.
New York City officials getting ready for more migrants. Leaders there say they've been told El Paso is restarting its migrant relocation program by busing them to New York. It was part of a decompression strategy in El Paso because of the high number of migrant crossings there. A New York official says the El Paso buses are in addition to the migrant buses sent by the state of Texas, which have continued to arrive. Meanwhile, New York City leaders say they have identified 22,000 migrants who are eligible for work permits. That figure comes as the city tries to complete a migrant census. It says that's about 70% complete.
Now to the latest on the looming government shutdown. The deadline to pass a spending bill to keep the government running is just a couple of days away. Despite that, Speaker McCarthy has rejected a bipartisan deal from the Senate. ABC's Rachel Scott tells us why the Speaker is still holding his ground.
The government is on the brink of a shutdown.
My advice is buckle up. There's turbulence ahead.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy flat out rejecting a bipartisan plan from the Senate.
Is the Senate's plan a non-starter in the House?
I don't see the support in the House.
McCarthy says without new border restrictions, no deal, trying to shift the focus to President Biden's handling of the border. But if Congress does not act to avoid a shutdown, 20,000 Border Patrol agents may not get a paycheck. His fellow Republican leader Mitch McConnell with this reality check.
If we shut down the government, for those of us who are concerned about the border and want it to be improved, the Border Patrol and the ICE agencies have to continue to work for nothing.
Lawmakers will still collect checks from their $174,000 annual salary, but more than 4 million federal employees will not, including U.S. service members. Austin Carrick's husband has been active duty in the Army for 21 years.
We mean nothing to them, but they expect my husband to go fight their wars.
Their 11-year-old daughter Melanie has Down syndrome and recently suffered a catastrophic stroke. She relies on several drugs to keep her alive, which can cost around $300 a month.
The question has really become, what can we get rid of? Who can we borrow money from in order to do what we need to keep her alive?
Still, some Republicans have dismissed the impact of a short-term shutdown.
What do you say to some military spouses who feel like Congress is playing politics with their lives?
First of all, they do get a paycheck. It's back pay.
Most of what people will see is not a shutdown. What they will experience is a slowdown.
We asked what they would tell military families like the Carriggs who worry about making ends meet.
Is that a concern?
It's a real concern, but let's talk about why it happened. Living paycheck to paycheck. Under the Biden administration, Bidenomics says work for one family, the Biden administration. We control the purse strings, the House does, not the Senate. But if they're not going to secure the border, it's off.
This would be the first time in decades that troops under the Defense Department would go unpaid. Congress would have to pass a bill to make sure personnel receives a paycheck during a shutdown. Rachel Scott, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Taking a live look outside with live cam, quite a different possibility for rain today. It's a little bit less than yesterday.
Unfortunately, it is a little bit smaller. Yet, luckily for folks, again, especially across the northern half of Bexar County, we had some pretty decent totals from some afternoon storms that were able to bubble up. We'll monitor the radar again this Thursday afternoon, but as of right now, we've only got about a 10% chance for a stray shower, especially the farther south and east that you go. And that's thanks to the moisture. We've got the humidity in place. Take a look at air temperatures right now, the white numbers next to them, the yellow numbers, what it feels like when you step outside because of the humidity. Currently feels like 96 in Pleasanton, feels like temperature of 97 in Gonzales, 89 over at SA International. It is going to be another hotter than average afternoon by the time you are getting off of work or just picking up the kids from school, around 95 with that 10% chance. And then if you are headed out to any Thursday night area football games, it is going to be a bit muggy, low 90s by kickoff at about 7 p.m. And then we'll start to see those skies clear after the sun goes down by halftime. Those temperatures falling into the 80s. Now looking ahead to your Friday, still hotter than average, 95 for the high, 10% chance for a stray shower into the upcoming weekend with those highs still in the low 90s. Now looking ahead, at least in the long-term forecasts, looking a little bit more encouraging. So we'll talk about that, plus get you the pollen count for today and the aquifer level coming up in just a few, guys.
Thanks, Mia. As the English language grows and evolves, new words are always cropping up. Now several hundred of them will be added to the dictionary. A look at some of the new lingo and what it means coming up. The Food and Drug Administration updated the label of diabetes drug Ozempic to acknowledge reports of blocked intestines in some people using it. Ozempic and its sister weight loss drug Wegovy have recently soared in popularity. The medications mimic a hormone the body naturally makes to slow the passage of food through the stomach, which helps people feel fuller longer. The labels of Wegovy and the diabetes drug called Mounjaro acknowledge reports of intestinal blockage in some people who use them. Ozempic's label has been updated to say that as well.
Looking outside with live cam, we're headed to 90 degrees. Not quite there yet, but that lets us break another record.
Another
right?
90-degree day. Yes, today will make our 113th consecutive 90-degree day, which is the longest stretch of those 90-degree days that we do have on record here in San Antonio. So yes, those hotter than average daytime highs do continue. All right, a quick look at the aquifer level for this Thursday, up just under half of a foot, 629.3. Still have a ways to go though when you compare that to the climatological average for late September. The pollen count looking a bit better than where we were yesterday, just molds and fall elm out there, and they are both low. All right, so we are going to get you a look at some pretty cool KSAT Connect photos from the storms yesterday. Also taking a look at some activity in the tropics. That's after the break. Okay, so it wasn't for everybody yesterday, but for those that did tap into a little bit of rain and some of the thunderstorm activity, we actually got some really awesome KSAT Connect photos in. I want to get you a look at some of these as well. This is one from Gordon. This is the definition of an isolated downpour. You can see some blue skies out there in the distance, but a nice little rain shaft right there. And then take a look at this lightning photo. Spider lightning going through the clouds. This was sent in just west of Carrizo Springs. Nice little lightning bolt there closer to San Antonio here. And then how about this on your evening commute home? Big lightning bolts right there close to the Balcones Heights area. Now again, today coverage is expected to be a bit lower, but still for a few lucky folks, we could see a quick splash and dash kind of shower before the day is done. Temperatures still going to be hot with that forecast high point at around 95 degrees by 4 p.m. That 10% chance by the later portions of the afternoon and into the early evening, and then skies will continue to clear after sunset. Temperatures dropping off into the 80s, 89 by 9 p.m. and 83 here in San Antonio by 11 o'clock. 97 in Cotulla, though, that forecast high later on this afternoon. Same over in Del Rio, 90 in Rock Springs, 94 in Canyon Lake, and 95 out east in Gonzales. Something else I do want to mention, air quality for today in the unhealthy for sensitive respiratory groups, which essentially means for the general public, at least most of us, we likely aren't going to see any issues out there. But if you do have unusually sensitive respiratory systems, you might want to take it easy, especially later on this afternoon. Just something we will continue to monitor. Also, something cool that's happening tonight and overnight, the super harvest moon. This is actually the last supermoon of 2023. It is going to appear closer and bigger to Earth. Moonrise is about 7:12. It won't officially become full until just before the top of the 5 a.m. hour overnight. But still, after it does rise out there on the eastern horizon, you will be able to see it with those skies clearing. Again, temperatures falling off into the 80s, but the humidity will start to build. And speaking of the humidity, we are starting to see those dew points drop just a little bit this hour, but still it is going to continue in some way, shape, or form over the next several days. That's why we have that 10% chance for a stray shower in the forecast this afternoon. I think it's possible we see another isolated downpour closer to the coast tomorrow, but for us here in San Antonio, we will reintroduce just that 10% potential back in the forecast this weekend, Saturday into Sunday. Let's talk tropics. It is still the Atlantic hurricane season. 2 tropical storms to monitor out there now. We've got Tropical Storm Philippe, which is just east of the Lesser Antilles, and then on its tails, that is Tropical Storm Rena. Those are going to continue to meander out there in the Atlantic over the next several days. No issues expected for us here in South Central Texas, but something we will continue to monitor. Still hot into next week, but after the middle of next week, it is possible that we increase some rain chances. Again, not set in stone and not a guarantee, but just know that that's something to check back in on here over the next several days. We're going to take a step aside. We'll be right back after the break.
Nearly 700 new words are now part of the Merriam-Webster dictionary. It released its annual list of new additions today.
There's one of them right there. Doggo and grammable. Grammable means good enough to be on
Instagram.
So yeah. And then simp, thirst trap. Jorts. Mia was explaining jorts to us. What is it? Jean shorts. Padawan. Bussin'. That means you're just cool. You're bussin'. And
come on, you can do it.
This is right all day. Zhoosh.
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 You got to zhoosh it.
What does that mean?
That means make it prettier or dress it up.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Okay, the list includes some acronyms as well. NGL, that stands for Not Gonna Lie.
I like that one.
And TFW, that stands for That Feeling When.
When what?
I don't know, but you know,
I didn't finish it.
People only have so many characters to tweet, so they need those.
Dictionary's getting heavy. Speaking of heavy, you got to have some kind of food down there that would like really make us heavy.
Not just great food, great deals. We have amazing happy hour deals right now.
That's right. Chef Stephen Bowers is joining us from Rebel. And tell me about the deal you have.
Okay, tonight we have prime steaks from 5 to 7. We have a ribeye, strip, and filet that are 50% off.
50% off. And we'll tell you, they're also having the deal a few other days a week. But we'll tell you more about that and the other deals they have as well. Thank you, Chef.
And it is a Thirsty Thursday, and we check out a big event at the Tower of the Americas that's featuring a great pairing, tacos and tequila.
Ooh, is that every day? Okay. Also, we're taking you Texas tripping to Divine. Divine Acres Farm opens this weekend, and we're getting a sneak peek, and we'll tell you what's new also.
And we shine a spotlight on a San Antonio artist with exhibits around the country, how her work is making a difference.
All right. Also, it's National Sons Day, but we're telling you, why don't you share both? Because we missed National Daughters Day. So we want to see their kids' photos. There's a QR code on your screen. Start sharing.
All that and more when SA Live continues.